Hello YouTube and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be reviewing a couple knife sets, well two knife sets actually that I ordered off of Amazon. That's right, so you'll see I have three sets down here. That's my home set in the middle. To the far left, that's the Gordon Ramsay Royal Doulton set, and to the far right, that is the Japanese set. It's called Hobo, but yeah guys, we're going to go ahead and slice that tomato in the far right. And let's get to it. Let's look at these blades and see what they can do. So I figured we'll get started with the steak knives, and so the best way for me to do that is to just lay them out like this. And starting with the Japanese blade, you can see that it's more jagged. The house blade is more rounded, and the Gordon Ramsay blade, it's kind of in between, right? It's not as jagged and it's not as rounded as that one. It's kind of like a balance. It's weird, but you know that it is what it is, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this, just so you can hear how cheap the metal is from the house blade compared to the other blades, right? That gives you pretty much a sense of the thickness too. This has no thickness. You can bend it real easy. It gets the job done, but you have to fight with this knife, right? So out of all these steak knives, the one that I have been grabbing the most in the past week is the Gordon Ramsay blade, right? It just does the job. It does everything I need it to do without hesitation. Just splitting open meat, cutting it, whatever I need to do, it does it right away. So I'm just going to tell you that ahead of time. But let's go ahead and see how it cuts. I don't know what you're going to see as far as me cutting it, right? Because I'm not a knife expert. I'm not a master chef. I'm not going to pretend to be. But yeah, I'm just going to do this just so you guys can get an idea before you buy it on Amazon. And once again, yep, the links are down below. You can go ahead and click on them. So starting with the Japanese blade, let's see if we can get a good focus. I can definitely feel it tearing through the tomato, but you don't know the difference till you actually get to the second blade, at least for me. And see, like these rounded edges, like you really have to push down to get it to cut. So it's like a big difference just between the Japanese blade and the home blade, right? But then the Gordon Ramsay blade is just it's like they did their homework on this, guys. Like, I saw people talking shit about it, excuse my language, but it's actually a great blade. I mean, like, I don't see myself needing any other blades in the future besides this blade. Like, much respect to Gordon Ramsay, by the way. I do watch his videos. I did see his master class. If you guys ever get the chance, like, he brings you right there when it comes to cooking, so just do it. Alright, so those are the steak knives, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and bring out the paring knives. So let me see if I can find the other paring knife, right? Alright, so these are my different paring knives right here. Let me put it in order. Yeah, so these are my different paring knives, right? And still the one that I reach for the most is the Gordon Ramsay knife. That's the only knife set that I have been reaching for with knives. So yeah, just let me get that out the way. But yep, these are the paring knives. And the non-stick coat, I don't trust these. They do wear off after a while. I have some non-stick pans, Curtis Stone, and they do wear off. So that's why I just was not too pulled to the Japanese knife set. Even though it looks attractive, but the simulated wood at the end of the handle, it does look a little cheesy for me. I was like, nah. This right here This is the blade. This does everything. So let me show you. So starting with the Japanese one. Let me see how I'm gonna cut this. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it from the side. Alright. Yeah, easy enough. Now my home blade, right? I did sharpen it a little bit, so it might cut pretty decent. Yeah, it is cutting decent. It feels just as good as the Japanese blade. But now with the Gordon Ramsay blade, you know what it is about the Gordon Ramsay blade? It's not just how it's cutting, right? It's the handle and the grip and everything and the balance of the blade. Like, you can feel all these differences in this blade when you cut. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and give it one more cut. I love when I cook chicken, I'll like cut the chicken for my daughter, and this just makes splitting the chicken way easier than using my other knife from before, you know, the regular kitchen knife. This one just does, it's just a good knife. They did their homework in releasing a knife set, so it's definitely worth it, guys. I'm just gonna end the video on that. I'm not gonna go into the other blades because you've got the bread knife and you've got the utility knife, and yeah, you know, I'll show you the Gordon Ramsay knife real quick. Which one is this? This is the chef's knife, right? Like, all their knives are made really good. And then where you put the knife, right? So let me just come up here. So where you put the knife, if you look at this, it's got all these little strands, and the knife just slides down in there, and it's awesome, and it's small and compact. The Japanese one, it looks great, but I don't like the simulated wood, and I don't like the name Hobo. So those two things just made me turn away from that knife set. Now granted, it is $67, and the Gordon Ramsay knife set was $100, and then last I saw $133, and that's excluding the steak knives. The steak knives cost an extra $50, so you're actually looking at $150 to $180 for the Gordon Ramsay set. A regular house knife set like that obviously costs you nothing, like $20 or something like that and up. But the Japanese knife set, if you want to save some money and only spend, you know, under $100, $67, get the Japanese knife set. That one might be for you. You might like that one. But if you want a knife set and you do not want to spend money on another knife set, and you want a quality chef's knife, and you don't want to spend $400 or $500 on some of these crazier knife sets, the Gordon Ramsay Royal Doulton set is for you. So this is the one that I'm going with, guys. I appreciate you for taking the time to view my video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, smash that like, drop any comments if you have any questions, and until next time.